Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Vino Volley. I'm your host, Mike Wall, and along with me is my co-host, Ryan Rebecki.
I'm me. You're Mike.
Oh, man. Just jammed me up there. I didn't expect that. Well,
Welcome.
You, me, how
us.
are you?
I am well. It is
The royal we.
The royal we. We are still in the kind of the doldrums of winter. We were got a little bit of snow, got a little bit of rain, we got some ice, and then it all turned to mud.
Well, it was beautiful. The snow was out, and then my dog took several hot shits in it.
Oh, yeah.
So but then we had a dusting, so it was nice.
Yep.
And then all the rain just made a lot of just wet, soggy shits.
Yeah.
And of course, like, it's always when it's like just got to the point where I'm like, I really should go out there and clean it, that the dude comes to fill up the oil tank. And I'm like, they wrote a note once and was just like, can you...
Come on.
Oh, yeah. Which personally, part of me was just like, go fuck yourself. But part of me was just like...
I'm going to shit on my own lawn.
I'm going to take a hot steamer right in your wheelhouse. But it's always the case. Like, so I'm just like, oh, god damn it. So I'm just like waiting for a note. But luckily, I mean, if he did step in a landmine, it was... So, yeah. So I'm just waiting for that nice frost, because one of my not favorite pastimes, but is I get a couple rubber gloves on and a trash bag, and I just go picking up frozen dookies.
Yeah.
Instead of like a shovel or like individual bags, just me and my trash bag and my gloves, just throwing dookies in a bag.
Give him the tools that God gave you.
That's right. So, yeah. So we'll just wait for that frost, but no, it's so other than that, any new doings, goings on?
No, we had a travel hockey tournament. We were up in the great white north of the great state of Maine, over there.
Yeah.
It was good. Boys took second place. I feel like my son,
I meant to ask, how many teams in total were there? Because one didn't show.
One didn't show, but it was like a 8-team round robin. The best two teams faced each other in the finals.
Did they get second out of 4? Where one team did show? Okay.
No. So it was like you play 3 games, and then the best two teams duke it out.
Gotcha.
But it really wasn't so much a duking as it was just an utter thrashing.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was a good getaway. Portland's always an awesome city to visit. Great food, even for it being cold up there. Like, the restaurant scene's awesome. The stores were still open, so that was cool. Watching my son play and like hit a new level, that was cool.
Nice.
And now we are rounding the corner on hockey season. We're starting indoor soccer next weekend as well.
I think I knew he did indoor soccer. Is this new?
This is new.
This is new.
So I deferred to my assistant coach. I was like, I don't have the capacity, so he got everything ready to go. So when Ryder and I can show up, we show up, and luckily he doesn't have to run. He can just play in goal.
Where's he playing?
4 Kicks.
Okay, in
Marlboro. Yep.
Nice.
So I think next weekend we'll literally go from hockey to soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever. He doesn't have to run. He's a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any new doings with you?
Justin and I hung out. We racked the wine. So, took all the wine out of the barrels, see if there's any sediment. It looks clean.
Yeah.
It's got nice flavor, nice color to start. So really excited to see how it ages in the barrel.
Awesome.
So hung out for a little bit there. And then we actually, I think, met up with them like the subsequent weekend. We went and met them in Providence, went to like the Children's Museum, which actually was pretty cool children's museum, and then went to Den Den. It's a Korean fried chicken place, which is it's the best fried chicken ever.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unreal.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Good shout out to Den Den. If they're listeners. Why, I don't know why they would be, but yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, other than that, just been grinding, kind of again in that lull, watching the transfers, watching a couple of the Carabao Cup games, or Caribou. I've always called it Carabao because that's how like the English announcers.
Yeah, it sounds right.
But isn't it a caribou? Like, isn't it the way you spell like the animal, the caribou, like CARB?
Honestly, I just found out it was an energy drink.
It is?
I think so. If I read everything correct.
Carabao is it energy drink?
I believe so.
Oh,
already hit the table.
Yep. That was a light one, though. I don't know if that'll register. But yeah, so enjoying that, and we'll obviously touch upon that as the main topic. But
Carabao energy drink.
Oh, what do you know?
We are continuing damp slightly wet January, right?
Moist January.
Moist January.
Yeah. So this will be. I obviously had to taste the wine when we racked it just to make sure there weren't any large concerns. So this will be the third drink I've had, and we'll run it out to February 1st, and then watch out.
Yeah.
Gotta pick up time. But couple maintenance items before we kind of get into it.
We are anything but honest.
So for first and foremost, the Mike Wall Honesty Hour. So last episode, I made a comment. I'm talking about getting lean and mean.
Yep.
I hope it got a few laughs when I talked about stuffing a Christmas tree into a garbage bag. That was not originated by me.
Okay.
It came to my attention. I knew someone had told me it. I couldn't remember who, but
yeah.
My lovely brother-in-law, Bill Barnes, he coined the phrase. Was the first time he was the first person I ever heard said it. Thought it was hilarious. I've used it several times. So shout out to Bill. I know he's a listener. Thanks for the line, and hope our other listeners enjoyed it.
Very honest. Unlike the comedian, who was it, Carlos Mencia, who was stealing everybody's jokes? Was that him? You don't know what I'm talking about.
No. I mean, vaguely, but not enough to, waste my time.
You're not him.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not Carlos Mencia.
You are not.
Yeah. I think that's ringing a bell, though.
Or it was the other guy with the sitcom. The name escapes me. Continue.
On to the Crofty Cultural Correction Hour.
It is tough to say.
It is. I really backed myself into a corner with that tongue twister. Not really as a correction, but more... it was funny, last episode when we were talking about favorite movies, I thought, hey, we got this, listener from the UK, might be able to give us some movies.
Yep.
For the life of him, every single movie he provided me wasn't even about soccer or football. So then after listening to the podcast, he's like, oh, hooligan movies. He's like, I've got several. So I would figure. So The Football Factory is apparently like the original gangster of hooligan films. So there's one for our listeners, if you haven't. I mean, I haven't seen any of these, so I might just throw them on the list. ID. Apparently this is a true story. So that's another one.
Okay.
Case is another one. It's a West Ham true story. He's a West Ham fan, so the last two. And then Rise of the Foot Soldier, also a West Ham true story. So a couple footy movies, hooligan movies, things to kind of broaden your palate if you're in the mood. So add those to the list if you haven't.
Truth be told, I was going for almost like a football hooligan get up tonight.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for you to just keep asking where your gabagool is.
It's an audio medium. Explain what you're looking at right now.
I'm looking at the most Italian-looking person I can ever think of. He's got damn near the full velour tracksuit. He's got it's the horn, right?
Yeah.
Just, and hairs. I mean, it's a beautiful head of hair.
Thank you.
Slicked back. I feel like we should take a picture, but I honestly don't want to post that. Oh, yeah. And the bright white sneakers.
Yep.
So it's
I should be sitting on a corner right now, smoking a cigarette, just yelling at people whom I don't like in the street.
Exactly. So, just, you know what? We're going to use our imaginations. You see what we look like, hopefully, on the website. Just picture Ryan and probably just the most Italian-looking medium you could think of.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's what I have to stare at for the next hour.
Just listen to my voice.
Anyway. So, the
Get
other
all
part...
up in your ears.
Oh, God. Don't want to be up in anything. So, the other thing that Pat talked about, actually, during the Most Punchable Face was the game Football Manager. So, he gave me a little bit of insight into it because when I read the email, I honestly had no fucking idea what he was talking about. And it kind of came through the way I read it because it was just like I'm Ron Burgundy. So, apparently, it is, as stated, you are a football manager. And it's not like a FIFA where you're kind of like a first person, but you do soup to nuts everything.
Really?
You arrange trainings, take press conferences, buy and sell players, build your brand, scout players, and then like even down to, as he was saying, the very nitty gritty where if like a player's got a cold, you can decide to play them or bench them or like kind of like set them off in their own training. So he says that, it's the beauty of it, besides the fact that it's just a huge obsession, is you get so much knowledge about the game because it's all like the interworking. So I did take a look at it. It's $50-something on because the brand new one 2024 just came out.
Okay.
So it's $50-something on the PlayStation Store. Probably the same thing on Xbox.
Yeah.
Not ready to pull the trigger at that price, but it does intrigue me if I do see like a $30-$20 buy. Probably pull the trigger and see what it's all about.
Because I get the Xbox Game Pass, so I wonder if I can just like stream that and give that a run.
It's good. It's literally called Football Manager 24.
All right.
So
I'll see what it's all about.
So Pat, thanks for that. You might have two. I mean, it doesn't do you any good, but we may
next
become,
episode. I just have like circles under my eyes and just like, oh god.
No, I just really
been
started
such a
really
week.
being like, I'm losing the locker room.
I can't run a 4.42 anymore.
But I think that clears up the.
Housekeeping aspect of things.
Yep.
Yep.
So to all our Vino Volleyers out there, it's time to pop those corks, indulge in a healthy pour, and dive stud showing into today's episode. So Ryan, shall you?
I shall.
I shall.
Today we are going to be enjoying the Silk and Spice Red Blend from the vintage 2021, if my facts are correct, and I believe they are. It is a red blend from Portugal. Let's see. Wine.com has it as a 91 point
You're
from
looking
Wine
at
Enthusiast.
Spice Road, correct? Or not? Are you just looking at the regular
No.
Silk and Spice?
Silk and Spice.
No, that's the regular.
Fuck.
So we talked about this beforehand. There's Silk Route,
Yep.
Spice Road,
I'm
and then
pretty sure-
just Silk and
I'm pretty
Spice.
sure they were both the same geographic location. I'm pretty sure a lot of people died trying to get spices back and forth to India. Not for nothing. All right, hold on.
Spice Road.
Spice Road.
Spice Road.
Holiday Road. Holiday Road. So today we are going to be drinking from Silk and Spice. It is the Spice Road Red Blend. It is a Portuguese red blend. The tasting notes are as follows. An intense ruby color. This wine has an very intense, that's twice, aroma of ripe black fruit accompanied by notes of chocolate and spices. Full-bodied and enduring, it is balanced on the palate and invites a long, harmonious, and spicy finish. Oof.
It's a lot.
Whoever wrote that, Jesus. Might be my track jacket, but it's getting a
It's
little warm in here.
Warm. Haven't
Oh.
even taken a sip.
Wow. Machi. All right, shall we?
Yep.
Such good acoustics. So, from opening it up, and I noticed it as soon as you open the bottle, it is like, it gets right up in your nostrils. I'm up in your ears, and this wine's all up in my nostrils. Like, it has a very potent smell from
Oh yeah.
several feet away.
No, very excited.
Big, kind of like jammy smell right off the go. As it pertains to legs,
They're there.
Little
I mean, the
bit.
color is. When
Yeah.
we talk about squid ink, like this, damn near close. Like
Yeah,
this
that's a-
is.
that's a-
I'm holding it up to the light. I'm like literally holding it up to a wall sconce, and I cannot see it on the other side. Like
Yeah.
that's how dark it is.
So alcohol content wise, I believe this came in right at 13%. So like,
Not
Yeah.
terrible.
yeah, kind of in the middle for what we've experienced. So let's see tasting wise. So we're expecting black fruit, spice, definitely the ruby color, chocolate and spices. Okay, let's see what we got here. I get plum. Does have a little bit of a tart, like almost like a plum skin taste to it. Finishes a little cleaner. That's what I'm getting right off the bat. What do you got?
I'm definitely smelling a little peppery on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much like berry smell.
I'm getting chocolate on the nose too. I'm not getting it taste wise, but I am getting like a dark chocolate.
Like a cacao, like a 99%
Oh,
cacao. I mean, it's definitely bold. I taste the black fruit. I see what you're saying with the plum. Like, I can definitely see that.
So this is matured in stainless steel tanks exclusively. So I wonder if, as this opens up, will it develop like the same warmer, like tones and taste as it would be if it was like aged at all in oak?
Oh, I mean, that's probably why you're not getting any vanilla
Mm-hmm.
because it's not in oak. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if we can hit some of the nuanced notes like the cinnamon or clove. I mean, I'm not getting as much of the chocolate as you are, but I mean, it's well balanced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's not too tannic. It is a tad dry,
Yeah.
but it's bold.
Oh, it's bold.
It
big
is bold,
and bold.
but not
Yeah,
in like a boozy way, you know.
right.
Like it's
13.5%. I misspoke.
but still, again, like 13.5%, like that's not It's not crazy,
No.
and it doesn't feel like it's not like a boozy taste. It's a big flavor.
No, when we did the Messiah, when we did the Lebanese wine, like
That was
liquor.
like you.
You knew
it
you
was
were-
more liquor. That was
You knew you were you were hopping on the horse and going for a ride.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, again, so good. I like it. To start, we'll see how it changes.
Yeah.
To kind of tie it all in, we were obviously, as kind of alluded to early in the episode, we were just kind of in this lull of we needed a spark, right? We needed something to spice things up. So that's why we did the Spice Road specifically. But today's episode is really focusing on where we're in the halfway point. Obviously, games have just started to pick back up, but we're still in that January transfer window.
Yep.
For lack of a better word, the first half of the season is done and dusted. So we kind of wanted to just talk about maybe our thoughts on how that first half of the season has gone, maybe some memorable moments, things that stuck out to us. I also have, concocted a couple different stats that I thought were interesting based on like the first half of the season that we'll talk about as well.
I dig it.
And then again, the last thing we'll kind of touch upon is we are in the January transfer window. So, a couple, maybe some key signings, maybe players that have gone out the door, that we thought were interesting, and then more so players that have come into certain teams. Now, obviously, we won't be able to get all of them because deadline day is, I think, the last day in January.
Okay. But just like notable things of note from the season thus far.
So, start things off is the current, state of the league.
Yes.
And for us, it couldn't be better.
It's great.
Because Liverpool are atop the league, and right now, because City hasn't played yet, they still have a game in hand. We are 5 points clear.
As of January 25th, yes.
Correct.
Yep.
And so again, the understanding is City's probably going to win that game. I think we looked at the next few games, and they are winnable games. So the idea is they're probably going to be 2 points behind. Which again, it's always great to be in the driver's seat, but you got to think that. They always do it, right? They kind of like City they work their kinks out in the first half of the season. They get their losses out of the way, the draws out of the way, and then the second half of the season, they're just going to fucking tear and go win 14 straight.
Yeah.
So you got to assume, but that being said, the only loss, air quotes, loss that Liverpool have is probably one of the more memorable moments from the first half is where VAR called the no goal when it was an absolute goal and realized their error in the moment and didn't have the foresight or the fucking stones to just call and be like, call a stop to play. I messed up. It's a goal given.
Yep.
We could have gone on and won that game or at least a draw. So I like where we are. Arsenal's an interesting one. Where do they sit now?
They are third.
Third, but I mean
43. So they are tied with both Manchester City and Aston Villa.
I mean, Aston Villa.
Scrappy Aston Villa team.
I mean, that's like I would say they're one of the bigger talking points of the season. Unai Emery's doing great things, but Arsenal, I think, at one point, again early on, but they had like an 8-point lead in first place.
Yeah,
and they took an absolute fucking dump, as Arsenal does. So we'll see if they can turn it around.
It's like the tortoise and the hare. They just get off to a quick start, and then they freaking,
get run over.
Yeah, they sputter out, and they'll find themselves somewhere between, my guess is like 3rd and 6th.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
But yeah, so Rye, any overall thoughts, memories, anything stand out to you?
Without going through the whole table, notable things is some of the bigger clubs. Manchester United right now sits at 8th, just an absolute dumpster fire all around. Just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's real. I mean, we alluded to it, but it's a question of, is it the system? Is it the players? It's not like Ten Hag hasn't had the ability to bring in some players, but has he been able to bring in the specific players he wants? So it's kind of it goes. They got Sancho out. He's obviously back in Borussia Dortmund, so kind of got that headache on. But they got a new CEO. They actually just hired Manchester City's CEO.
Okay.
So interesting. They new money coming in. The guy who owns Ineos, James Ratcliffe, I think it is. is the name.
Okay.
Again, we might be on the Mike Wall correctional.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah,
Not
Harry
Elijah
Potter.
Wood.
Not Elijah Wood. So new money coming in. A guy who also is made a point that he's going to oversee all transfers and has already talked about like players that he's like, we're gonna fucking get out of here and like kind of clean house.
Cut the fat, yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it's they're still in the hunt. They could still make a charge and make it to fourth, but yeah, they are. For who, for the name that's on the is on the crest, like it's a tough spot to be in 8th place.
Follow that up with 9th place, which is Chelsea.
Yeah.
Which again, you love to see it happen unless you're a fan of that club because they just threw so much money at players, and that is another absolute freaking flaming train wreck dumpster fire.
Yep. 100%.
And like, there's no sign of like that team figuring it out.
They have moments, and I think it's one of those where they're starting to fire up front. So it's going to be one of those seasons where you're not going to be winning gritty 1-0 where you just kind of like you scored a goal and then you stood on your head to kind of keep. It's going to be we need to score more goals than the other team. Like they're a team that need to score probably 2 or 3 because you got to figure they're going to concede a few.
Yeah.
Because it's not working. I mean, they've got $600 million in that midfield and not much to show for it. Again, things can turn around, but you'll love to see it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Other notable things, team-wise, young, scrappy Luton Town just battling to get out of relegation, and you really hope for it. Like
You do.
You'd love for them to stay up. Like it's a true underdog story. Like,
and they may have a lifeline.
They might.
Because now, not once, but for the second time, Everton have been charged with breaches of financial fair play along with Nottingham Forest. So, if you figure Nottingham Forest, if it's their first infraction, if it's one, I would assume it stands to reason they're going to get hit with at least a 10-point deduction.
Yeah.
So you got the table up. Where are Nottingham Forest right now?
They are in 16th. They have 20 points.
So they're right outside the relegation zone. And so say a 10-point deduction, they're going to be dropped to...
They'll go to 10th. They'll be tied with Sheffield.
Yep.
At 10th.
So that'll take Luton Town, right? And then Everton now fucking can't figure it out. And again, There's 2 parts to me, right? One, it's Everton, so I love it.
Yeah.
I hope, you know. The other part is this, how is City not...
Apparently they have scheduled
they're like, we set a date. We can't tell you when it is. The only thing I can think of is because, it's one in, like, other teams, one breach of financial fair play. Okay, clear cut, like, we've got the paperwork. 115, it probably takes a lot of research to get all those 115 infractions. So maybe that's why it's taken longer. But so Everton, again, could be hit with another 10 point. They could be even hit with the worst deduction. So that's 2 teams that are right on the cusp right now, right? Because Everton is
in 17th.
17. So that's 2 teams that could take 10-point deductions. Luton Town's not looking that bad. And man, if there ever was a team that I would want to stay up, it is Luton Town. Now, I didn't, but a couple of people took real shots at good old Alfie.
Alfie.
And
he's a good boy.
He's been on a tear. I think
he's ripping and tearing.
He's been something else.
Hey,
so
he got the bump.
He's just like, he heard about this fucking no-name podcast.
These fucking wankers. Yeah. These fucking yanks. And just goes friggin' scorched plague.
That's it. So a lot to be. There's a lot of soccer left. So
that is true.
Luton Town.
My last thing I want to add in, and because I know you've got stats, you did the reading.
I mean, the listeners know by now what each of us brings to the table.
And this is good. This might not sit well with certain people, but I think one of the more notable things that have happened in the Premier League, most recently, which hopefully doesn't come to bite us in the ass, is the return of Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Whom is probably one of my favorite players
100%.
outside of Liverpool, or a couple like other international players. Are just like, you know what? like his game, like his story.
It's unbelievable.
Just like so reliable, so dependable, always a workhorse, just like is a guy that seems like takes coaching, is always a team player, and always makes the right decision. So, great to see him back.
Yep.
It also terrifies me
Yep.
because
He's just going to be slinging absolute. I mean, you saw it in the Newcastle game. Like they got their teeth kicked in, but then came back. He comes on and throws up a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
Boom, game done and dusted. Like that's just what he can do. And his face is so red, but it also like never seems like he like gets out of like second gear.
yeah,
He just like but he's probably, I think, one of the best midfielders the Premier League's ever seen.
yeah,
I know that you're gonna the Lampards, the Gerrards, obviously, but I mean, he's something special.
Oh, yeah,
and
100%.
again, we talk about the getting healthy at the right time. How well City did without him, kind of being the maestro in the midfield, being able to bring him back, and he might not even have to start games because they're that strong.
Yeah.
It's something to be concerned about. Hey, well,
See,
we just keep doing it.
still gotta play.
Think of it this way: if Liverpool does the same thing that they did in the first half of the season, they're gonna win.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously easier said than done. We've got a few guys who are younger to the squad, haven't been in that position. Soboslai, McAllister, basically our midfield, haven't been at the top, haven't felt that pressure when maybe potentially City have played first, and now you need to win this game. You get into that 60th, 70th minute where it's 0-0, it's 1-1. Exactly. And so we'll see. We'll see what they have. I loved every single signing that we brought in to be able to rebuild Gravenberch, Gravenberch, to rebuild the midfield. But my hope was win the Europa League, the one trophy that we haven't won under Klopp, and then
everything
still finish top four.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would love to win the league, but I still think that there's gonna be those ugly 0-0 games.
Yeah. Oh, it's far from over.
Yeah, and City's gonna go on a run, so we'll see. But so a couple other things that I took note of. Our boy James Milner hit a milestone within this season. He made his 632nd start in the Premier League.
Love to see that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy is an absolute animal. So it puts him tied for second with Ryan Giggs, and he's just 21 more starts behind the current leader, Gareth Barry, who's a Everton guy, so I want Milner to beat his record. He will need to obviously play another season. And I don't think he started every game for Brighton anyway, but he has just a 1-year contract with Brighton, so he would need to re-up. They would need to want to re-up, or need to find another Premier League team to beat it. But I hope he does, because I had my problems with him starting games, but he is a true, he's old school, he's a true workhorse, and I think he deserves it. I hate to point it out, but Manchester City basically winning the quadruple. It culminated with the Club World Cup, which was they capitalized on, and you expected it to happen in 2023. So they had that nice little trophy presentation with all the trophies. It is impressive, but you know what? You did it on the.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts for.
Well, I mean, again, you did it with all these breaches of financial fair play. So who knows how legitimate any of that is? Anyway. Notable kicks, goals.
Yeah.
That Garnacho bicycle kick.
Loaded.
Unbelievable.
Nacho.
Might be goal of the season. We haven't hit Manchester United yet as far as most punchable face, so I won't get into too much, but he's in the running.
I thought we did.
No, we haven't done Manchester United yet.
I thought that was the first one we did.
We did Manchester City.
Yeah, all right.
I'm shaking my head at Ryan right now. Fucking guy. Couple other milestones. Salah reached 200 goals for Liverpool. He also reached like 150 or 300 starts. He all did it within like a few games. So our main man, Salah, who's actually one of the injured. But before I get into the injury list, the last one that I had, I thought was pretty memorable. the reason for it, I was actually in the vineyard at the time, and the game had already happened, so we had it recorded. So we came back. My cousin Anthony and I watched it. Eleanor was like asleep on me. Was the Newcastle game? So down to 10 men, down 1-0.
Yep.
Who steps onto the pitch? My favorite, not your favorite. Darwin Nunez scores 2 beauties.
He sure did.
Absolutely demoralizes Newcastle. Liverpool go on to win 2-1.
Great game.
Great. I mean, that was a catalyst game for sure. Being down 10 men, and it is crazy how teams that go down to 10 men somehow become more dynamic and seems more threatening. But
backs are against the wall.
Right. But talking about Mo Salah's, hit his milestones, currently in AFCON, back from AFCON, being injured. So I took the total number of players that are injured currently in the Premier League.
Okay.
There are 147 players across 20 teams that are injured.
Jesus.
Vast majority are like hamstring injuries.
Yep.
And again, it all goes to, as fans, it's great. You see all these cup games. So there's the Asian Cup. There's the African Cup of Nations. There's the Carabao Cup. There's the FA Cup. There's the Champions League. There's Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Club World Cup.
Yep.
Then when the off season, you've got the Euros. You've got the World Cup. You've got
Copa
America, the Gold Cup. There's the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's just
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and they want to. Now they're trying to revitalize that Super League, which is going to be another. It's just it's too much for these players. I love watching soccer more than anything,
right?
But not at the detriment to these guys, their health, basically their body. They need time to rest. So it's 147. We're halfway through. Now, obviously, guys are coming back, but it'd be interesting to see what the total injury is, and sometimes it's even more detrimental at the end of the season because then guys who will potentially miss a tournament for their club and for their country.
For their country, yeah.
So, but a couple other first half stats that I thought were pretty cool is number of goals. 647 total goals have been scored. I didn't do assists because I figured most of those goals have to be assisted, so the number was probably pretty
close to the same. Yeah.
Correct. I was I was running the numbers.
No one's going to end to end.
I was like, this is dumb. The other one that I thought was funny was most times hitting the woodwork at a total number of 149 times.
League-wise.
League-wise.
Yeah.
Not just one.
Yeah, even though I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, well, it's about right.
The person who leads the league in hitting the woodwork is none other than our own Darwin Nunez.
Jesus.
5. The next closest was 3.
It's been more than that.
5.
Feels more than that.
5. In the Premier League.
Each game.
He hit it in the... You're going to learn to respect the name. Just wait. By the way, first player in all competitions to reach 10 goals and 10 assists before anybody else. Yeah.
Just imagine if he actually put the ball on target.
Stick that in your fife and smoke it. He does. Okay? I think the framework is still technically is close to on target.
Literally, Ryder and I watched the last game, and he's like, huh.
Yeah, I was fired up.
Guy finally scored. I'm like, yeah, you know what, bud? He did. It's amazing.
You're gonna learn. Anyway, 41 red cards.
Don't hate it.
931 yellow cards.
It's up those numbers.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Send them off.
Send them off. And then the other one that I thought was more... I didn't do the total number, but I thought it was interesting. The number of tackles, successful tackles in a game, is led by João Palhinha for Fulham.
Dude, you nailed that.
Justin always wanted a dog named João.
Yeah.
So I know that's why I know that one. He was at 96 tackles, and the next closest was 67.
That's
so, and you saw, the
impressive.
Carabao Cup, they kept highlighting him as the engine in that midfield because he tracks. The Liverpool were looking at him, I think, before at the beginning of the season, but I think dislocated his shoulder, so he wasn't going to be ready for the first half of the season. So they didn't end up pursuing, but an absolute machine and probably somebody who's going to go to a big team
Yeah.
at one point. So I thought that was interesting because he's just like the next person isn't even close.
No.
So, and then last thing is we're in the January transfer window. Is wanted to talk about some key players that are gone out, some key players that have come in, things that I thought were interesting. First one is Zach Steffen, and the only reason I brought this up going to the Colorado Rapid was because he's a United States player. Obviously, he used to be our number one goalkeeper, but now it's Matt Turner. So it's after, I want to say Dwight Howard, but that's not it.
Tim Howard.
Tim Howard.
Nailed
There
it.
you go, Tim Howard. So after Tim Howard, but yeah, he was the number one, and then he was the surprising snub at the World Cup, as he, definitely should have been picked. But the U.S. men's national team episode will have its day in the sun. Timo Werner.
Timo Werner.
I mean, we didn't get enough of him at Chelsea, so
geez.
Tottenham thought it'd be a great idea to just bring this absolute stuff. You want to talk about someone who couldn't hit a cow in the ass with the shovel? It's Timo Werner, okay? He makes Darwin Nunez look like fucking Ronaldo, okay? Because that dude just cannot finish. All right, just blue balls all over the place. Just can't finish.
I'm coming back to the
I'm
English
going to make my statement. Yeah. Sergio Reguilon, so was on loan to Manchester United from Tottenham, came back and is now on loan at Brentford.
Okay.
Eric Dyer shipped out from Tottenham to Bayern on loan. Eric Dyer's kind of been a staple for Tottenham for a long time, so now he's with good old fucking mouth of marbles, Harry Kane. And then this was a big defender, and there was kind of a bit of a brouhaha about it with Radu Dragusin.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And he is brought in from Tottenham, and I think it was like Real Madrid or something also wanted him, but he had already committed to Tottenham. He's like, oh, I gave him my word. And so everyone's just like, you fucking idiot. Like, what? Like, if you had to choose, but... So they were obviously desperate for a defender. I watched a little bit of him. He seems like a solid center back, so we'll see what comes of it.
His name sounds like a bad guy in any single action movie.
Yes, it does. Ben Brereton Diaz was brought in to Sheffield United from Villarreal.
Yeah, we already brought this guy up.
Well, he's in the most punchable phase, I
Yeah.
think. But
he's a Chile international,
but-
but he's as white as
right,
Wonder
I think
Bread.
this was Pat's pick.
Yeah,
But he talked about, making an impact. Guy scored on his debut, so I thought
He
it was,
did.
is an interesting
he actually
one.
was like electric in that game.
He
not for
was,
nothing.
yeah. Although I still think West Ham got absolutely fucking boned.
Yeah.
But anyway. And then the last one, which I think is a good pickup as a loan for West Ham, is Calvin Phillips. I thought he was great at Leeds. They got kind of a raw deal at City, and I think Pep even made note of it. He's just like, I feel bad. He's like, there are points where he should have got in, and I just didn't play him, and it's not right.
Yeah.
So good for him. Good for Pep to be able to understand he deserves to get time. So let him out, and I think it's going to be a great way to shore up West Ham's midfield that is good with James Ward-Prowse, but I think Thomas Suchek is a little bit of he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He looks like a Frankenstein idiot. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. But yeah, those were, kind of the comings and
Notable
goings.
moments.
But either way, we're getting fired up, getting spiced up, ready for the second half of the season
Mhm.
and for what it holds.
I love it.
So let's kind of wrap things up. Let's talk about how has the wine spiced up at all? Has it opened up? Has it changed?
You go first.
So it's funny, when I took a smell the first time, there was something that I was getting, and it makes sense when you said that it was in a steel tank, because you don't have that vanilla, that oakiness. You almost smell, there's like a tinge to it, and I don't want to
It's
say
like a metallic
metallic,
type.
but almost a little sulfide. Not like overpowering, but just like in the slightest that cleanliness. It's the same smell I get when the wine is in the tank that we have before it goes into the barrel. It doesn't take away from the wine. It just doesn't add to it. I'll say that.
Right.
So there's that little bit on the
I
nose.
agree
Is
with
it
that.
just it doesn't have, it's not rounded out as much with not being in the oak. Taste wise, let's see what we got. Still getting the plum.
Okay.
It still is. It's a little peppery on the nose. I'm not getting any in the taste, and I don't get any cinnamon. I don't get any clove.
No chocolate.
A little chocolate, but
Okay.
again, as you're talking about that dark, we're talking like 99 cacao. Like it's a dry, almost a little bitter. Bitter but still chocolatey.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not blowing my socks off as I like the Silk and Spice, like
Yeah.
their original, better than this.
Okay.
We haven't tried Silk Route, which Justin had. He said he liked it better, so that
right.
might have been the best. But still, it's good. So
Okay. I'm going down the same road that you are. Now that you mentioned the whole stainless thing, it doesn't have a metallic taste to it, but it has this weird crispness to it versus like a warmth to it. So I wonder if like this would be, because it's what, 60 something degrees down here. It's kept at 60 degrees, right? It gets pretty. It's
yeah, I mean, I don't.
it's
have,
not warm by any means. It's like ever so slightly chilled.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I wonder if something like this would hold up better if it was at a room like a 72, just because it was in the stainless, and I think it would add a little bit of warmth in something that's kind of
Yeah.
straight
Yep.
through, if that makes any sense. So
No, I pick up what you're putting down.
So I'm formulating some numbers. I get some things
We're not
going on
there
right
yet.
now. I'm confident.
Okay.
So we will circle back to this because I'm curious how
as
it
we always
finishes
do.
out. Yeah, we do. We've got a
But-
routine.
Before we do that, it's time for everybody's favorite segment of Who We Want to Punch in the Face. But you can do that. Alright. So we have a couple of write-ins. Thank you to our write-ins. The first one is from Jess. Jess picked Milos Kirkes.
Milos.
Apparently it was a clear and easy choice for punchable face. He perpetually looks like he just smelled a fart and flexes way too much.
While smelling farts?
Well, you know that some people do that. So Jess, I agree with you, and I might piggyback off that a little later. So we will circle that, but we always appreciate the entry. Next one is from Ryder, back in the mix.
He's back.
Our favorite 9-year-old listener. And Ryder says, I chose Marcus Tavernier because he looks like a hippie on the side of the street smoking a cigarette in one of his pictures, and his celebrations look like a zombie just coming out of the ground with no brains. Yeah.
He's 9.
But I mean,
He's 9.
he put it together.
And you know what?
He went past the hair. I like it. Although when I'm thinking like the hippie smoking, all I can think of is Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused.
He dug deep for that one. And you know what? He loves listening.
Yeah.
He loves soccer.
And we
so you know
appreciate
what?
it. Those I will always take those because you took the time. All right, you went in, you did the research, probably more than your dad.
Oh yeah,
So,
100%.
So Ryder, thank you for that. Good shout out to you, and we hope you keep writing in. All right. Next up, we have Patrick. So Patrick writes, really tricky one this week. Have zero beef with Bournemouth. Even had to Google some players. My choice is Kiefer Moore. Quite simple. Looked through everyone's image and was drawn to punch him in the face the most. Googled him, played for England, C team, and now Wales. So now happy with the choice. So to piggyback off that, Pat, I had a brief look at Kiefer Moore because when he came on against Liverpool at the weekend, he produced a really bad tackle. I think it was like right on the same leg that McAllister had
I believe so.
his stitches on. So I was kind of like angry. So I was like, all right, this might be my guy. And then also looking at his photos with the slick back hair and the mustache, he looks like a guy that if you asked him how high the grass was in Germany, he'd say, this high! And then maybe talk about the Fuhrer or something. So there's that. But anyway, Rye, do you want to go with your picks?
No,
pick?
you go first. You go
All right,
first.
well, I think I'm gonna go for a twofer here.
Okay, doubling down.
So the first one I'm gonna go with is Ben Greenwood, and I really do hate to belittle a fellow ginger.
This is red on red crime.
Yeah, and there's so few of us left.
You got to protect your own.
So his team photo makes him look like he's one of the Weasleys, but not the good kind that you all know and love. No, this Weasley could only be described as off, which is why they locked him away in the basement. And his smile, it says, "Come here, I'm harmless, but I might also try and stick my finger in your butt." So, yeah. So, because of that, again, obviously the things I made up, I think, would like to punch him in his what looks like a 20-inch square jaw.
Yeah, it's...
And then in my heart of hearts pick,
Yep.
I think Jess and I, kindred spirits. My pick was also Milos Kerkis.
Milo.
A man who in many photos looks like he could not count to 20 with his boots off starting at 19. Like, just an absolute dunce. Like, you have to look, like, it's not one, it's several where you're just like... Exactly. Yeah. He looks like the kind of guy, when you ask him the question, "How's it going?" he would respond in kind with, "Yeah," or "Thanks," not remotely comprehending.
No, he looks like he's got the IQ of Pancake.
Exactly.
Like he's just...
Exactly. Like, you'd just be like, "How's it going?" And be like, "Turtle." Like, just has no idea.
Well, that picture, he looks kind of handsome, but the rest of them...
But anything. Just absolutely just like derails the conversation. And then he's got like the perpetual duck lips face, which again can't be controlled. That's genetics because of his homo habilis jaw. I thought you'd like that.
That's a good one.
Right?
I like that one.
Yeah. So protruding jaw. Again,
I thought you were going to go with Cro-Magnon, but yeah,
No.
I dig it.
Yeah, no, it's the bottom is out, so that's definitely a homo habilis. It's just itching to be punched. So for all those reasons and more, my true heart of hearts pick. Yeah, exactly.
The first picture on Google is him holding up a number 1. It's like, Milos,
how old are you? Yeah.
How many chocolate milks did you drink today?
Yeah.
1.
So that, which I think is well deserved for most punchable face.
That is a good one. Oh, I'm sure he's a great person.
Oh yeah, they all are. They all are.
Oh, woof. Okay. All right, let me gather myself. My pick, and again, I must have something out for backup goalkeepers, because as I scroll through, I came across Jonut Radu. He is a Romanian backup goalkeeper, and in the picture on Google, when you click on players, he's like a Romanian Borat. Like, everything I feel that comes out of his mouth is like overly sexual. He has these very like gazing eyes. He's like a guy in the club, and just like, "Yes, I want to know what it smells like." Like, it's like just overly creepy in all of his pictures. Like this one. Look at this. That has to be the one that goes up on the post.
Oh yeah,
because it's just like,
those are like,
"Yes, I do like when the lady they fart in the cup and then I put it over my mouth." Like, it's just like the most, like, he's the weird dude in the locker room.
Oh yeah,
Like, he's like, "You don't understand the
he's
beauty
the guy
of
when
woman."
like you walk out and come back, he's like smelling your cleats, and you're just like, "Radu."
No, very natural, friend. No, this is how we bond over smell of the feet and the grass. Like, it's just like everything out of his mouth is like super over the top and bizarre and like slightly sexual. And he always hugs all of the players' wives like just a little too long, and just like smells their hair. Like, it just takes like,
he's got like the scissors.
yeah. Yes, we are one now.
I'm gonna save that for later.
So yeah, I get no animosity against him. Never seen him play. He played a lot in Italy. He got passed around a lot. So he's on loan to Bournemouth now. Best of luck to him. I'm sure he is having the best of times chasing around English women. So there you go.
All right.
Jonat.
Radu. All right, so that wraps up, I think, one of the more vibrant, most punchable faces. And
Absolutely.
for a team, again, I think we don't. There's some players that I do actually hate.
Yeah, there's a visceral.
These were none, and it's all like. Tell you what, if you guys ever become listeners, have a go at Ryan and I.
Yeah.
Our faces.
Oh, I know my weak spot.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it,
Okay.
but I'm aware.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I'll start crying.
Therapy session.
So what it's not. It's not these rock hard fucking abs.
A little soggy. Anyway, still working on it. Still work in progress.
We're getting tight.
We are.
We're getting tight for the new year.
Lean and mean. Anyway. All right, Rye. So
we get a big February coming up.
We do.
January we're putting in the past.
We're putting it behind us.
I hope everyone's looking forward to February. It's a transitional month. It's a month of love.
Yep.
It's your birthday month.
It is, yes.
And I feel like it just brighter days are ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The other day, prepping dinner, washing some dishes, and I look outside. I'm like, what time is it? It's still light outside. And I look, 4:45, still light outside. And it was like, all right,
Oh,
okay.
better days around the corner.
Take a win where we can get one.
Yeah.
We get some big things on tap.
We will. We'll get to those.
Oh, big marketees. Okay, sorry.
Always with the big marketees. But first thing, I think let's finalize this wine. Let's get the review in the books.
Okay.
And then let's let the people know what they have to look forward to, wine wise, storyline wise. So let's hear it.
I had higher hopes for this wine.
Agreed.
Okay. Because you've been fans of Silk and Spice for a while.
Yes.
We've consumed numerous bottles of Silk and
Yes.
Spice, and I feel like it always is really, really good.
Yes.
Scratches an itch, and just like there's never anything bad to say about it.
Right.
So, taking a flyer on this one, we kind of didn't know what we were getting into. I am left a little disappointed. It's still wine.
Yeah.
I'm still going to drink it. It's definitely not going to be...
But as there's no difference in any of the price points, again, we haven't tried Silk Route.
Right.
But at them being $10.99, I would never take this over the original just Silk and Spice.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, go with the OG Silk and Spice. This one, again, has kind of like... It's not a metallic. It's a weird crispness that you don't expect from a red wine. And I guess I had higher hopes, which is unfortunate. I think this is the first bottle that's really like left me wanting. Score-wise...
We hyped it up.
Yeah, but you know what? That is what it is. You know, maybe someone picks it up and they're like, I love this. Like I disagree. This is how I like my wine. Because remember, like I said last episode, it's face for every ass.
I would like to, well, I'll go with the opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they usually stink.
Yeah. And again, we're just two assholes who like soccer and like
these
drinking
are,
wine.
These are
Yeah.
these are our opinions.
So I'm gonna go. I don't want to go like so low where it's just like a fucking abomination. I'm gonna go because it'll give me a chuckle. I'm gonna go 6.9.
Okay. I'm not going to go nearly that low.
Okay.
But, so I think, yes, where I would have liked a little bit more body, a little bit more legs from being an oak barrel as opposed to steel, that did. So I think I'm trying not to let the hype
Okay.
affect my score.
You're much more fair than I am on this.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of flavors that I do like. I like the plum.
Mhm.
I like the smell, the peppery smell. I love the color, the mouthfeel. So it has a lot of good qualities. I think it is a solid wine. Again, for a solid price, I wouldn't. If you had you were two Silk and Spices right next and they were the same price, I would take the other one.
Right.
But I still think it is a solid wine, especially if you're looking for that little bit of difference, that little bit of extra spice on it, not as smooth. So I'm going to give this a 7.5.
Oh, okay.
So it's right in like the wheel. I don't dislike it.
Right.
It's just I don't like it as much as I thought I was going to, but
Yeah.
it's still enjoyable.
Okay.
So
This is the first time my score's been lower than yours.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it was fine.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think we've done 2 Portuguese wines, and both of your scores have been in the 6s.
no shit.
Yeah, the first one, the cherry, which I feel like we need to go back to, but anyway.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Well, where are we going on our adventures next?
So we are going we're going to do a little detour.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
not in the sense you might be thinking.
Okay.
It's still going to be the same format, but as we are going to be in the month of February.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to be. I want to really embrace Valentine's Day. So
Yep.
it's going to be a month of love.
Yeah, it is.
So our topic
Yeah.
is going to be just romance and soccer.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to talk about moment. Like it could be a player you loved, a
Okay.
coach you loved, a
Yep.
moment you loved.
Okay.
Just something about the sport that you love. So that's going to be is just the romance of the game, the
Yes.
history, everything that we love about it. We're going to bring to the table. We're going to discuss, and we're just going to be nostalgic. We're going to be drinking red wine.
Yep.
It's going to be a feel good episode.
Yeah.
And to that point,
Oh, my wife better watch out.
this is going to be the first episode that we do not do a most punchable face,
Oh, okay.
as it is the month of love
And
and
affection, yeah.
the Hallmark holiday known as Valentine's Day. We are going
Yep.
to be doing the most kissable face. And to that, we're not even. You're not
okay.
limited to. You're not limited to players in the Premier League. Any player
Yep.
that you just want to absolutely plant one on.
Okay.
That's going to be your pick. And to our listeners, that's what we want the write-ins is the most kissable face.
Yeah, and I think also on top of that, like if there is a moment in soccer that because like we love the feedback, and I feel like as the emails come in, like people are also commenting on both portions of the show, like what do you love about soccer? Like what is one moment, one player? Like, and I think that'd be great feedback to share with everybody.
So as we're in that, it's loving. We were trying to think
Yeah.
of what wine.
I just took my shirt off,
You did.
my overshirt.
did.
I still have my very
Layers,
very
lots of
tight,
layers.
deep V-neck on in case it's an audio medium, but you use your imagination.
So we're talking about love. We try to think what wine can express love. And so I was thought as I'm staring at my very Italian co-host that something from Italy.
Yes.
Love language,
Yup.
Italian. It's pretty.
Romance.
Venice.
Tuscany.
So we're actually
The
going to be
Amalfi Coast.
Ryan, why don't you tell the people what we'll be drinking for next episode?
Oh, I can't wait because this is actually going to be the first Italian wine that we have drank on this show,
Yes, it is.
due to a slight and innocent mishap.
Correct.
Yep. So we are going to be drinking the Corte alla Flora Rosso Toscana IGT. It is from 2017. It is an Italian red blend. I'm not going to the full tasting notes, just teasing it. This was sold to me at a wine store near us, and the guy said, and this is what spoke to me, he's like, this thing hits above its weight. It is the best bang for your buck.
Which is what we've always wanted to try and find. So
Yep.
very
So
excited.
I was like, say less, good sir, as my kid was sampling cheese from the free cheese platter, just getting himself all bound up. I was like, yeah, no, get me on board with this. So I am super excited. One, talk about love and soccer, drink some Italian wine. I have the highest of hopes for this next week. I'm so excited.
Excellent. We're looking forward to it, and we would love to keep going as we've been having so much fun. But after VAR review, we are once again officially out of wine and must put the final cork in today's episode. So with that, we'll say listen to us next time on another exciting episode. of
Romantic episode.
a romantic episode
Yeah.
of Vino Volley. Ryan, you know what to do.
Folks, remember, always, forever, and always, sip and soccer responsibly. We bid you a Freddie adieu.